The moment I pulled into my driveway amid that howling blizzard, I sensed trouble brewing. Snow was piled knee-high, the wind whipping like a wild animal, and after handling that 12-car pileup on Highway 9, all I craved was warmth and a working light. But my backup generator was vanished. Where it should have been chugging away by the fence, there was just an empty spot and skid marks trailing to the street. My home security was offline, the house ice-cold, and my nosy new neighbor had swiped the one thing shielding me from ex-cons who'd jump at the chance to catch me off guard. 20 minutes later, there she stood in her doorway, arms folded, smirking like she'd won the lottery. "Keep your noisy junk out of our classy neighborhood, you freeloading bum." That bitter taste of fury hit me hard. She pegged me as some pushover working stiff she could bully. Little did she know, she'd just picked a fight with a man who could flip her world upside down with a single call. Let me rewind and explain how I landed in this nightmare. My name's Frank Harlan. I'm 52, and 8 months back, the folks of Oak Ridge County voted me in as sheriff. Not shabby for a fella who kicked off as a patrol officer 28 years ago, huh? But nobody in my new subdivision knew that. I'd just endured a nasty divorce that left me feeling like roadkill. My ex took the fancy house, I got the legal fees. And my teenage daughter, Sophie, bounced between us every other weekend. I wanted a clean slate, somewhere folks didn't pry into my past. So when I spotted this cozy 3-bedroom ranch in Willow Creek Estates, I grabbed it. The place was solid, quiet road, sturdy build, and a separate garage for tinkering on my old truck. That rig's a '98 Chevy Silverado, more rust than shine. I could swing something flashier, but I preferred blending in. You know how some people sniff out storms? Well, that generator's diesel hum mixed with crisp winter air took me back to academy days. Good times, secure times. Because that machine wasn't just for power outages. It kept my security setup running. Cameras, motion detectors, the works. After 3 decades locking up crooks, some remember your mug. I'd fielded death threats, especially after busting that big drug ring last year. The generator ensured my defenses stayed up, even if the grid quit. I first crossed paths with Victoria Langford 3 weeks after settling in. I was hauling groceries from my beat-up truck when she strutted over in those absurd heels, face painted like a department store display. Her smile was all teeth, no warmth, and she eyed my truck like it was dumping garbage on her pristine pavement. "Welcome to the area," she said, but her voice dripped disdain. "I'm Victoria, HOA president. We should chat about our standards." Her perfume hit me from yards away, fancy stuff trying too hard. "Nice to meet you," I replied, keeping it short. "Frank Harlan." She scanned my truck again, then my work clothes. I could see her judging. Probably jobless, maybe on handouts. Not Willow Creek caliber. "Well, Frank," she said, like the name soured her tongue. "Do review our HOA rules. We maintain values here." Victoria cruised in a Mercedes with plates reading Graced 1. Blessed with a personality like a traffic citation. The real storm hit that blizzard night. After spotting the missing generator and our doorstep spat, I figured we could hash it out like grown-ups. Boy, was I mistaken. Next morning, Victoria marched up my drive like she owned it, flanked by 2 HOA board members looking like skittish sidekicks, clutching a fancy folder. "Good morning, Frank," she cooed, ignoring her freeloading bum jab from hours before. "I hope you've thought about your position." That's when it clicked. This wasn't a control freak neighbor. It was a calculated push to oust anyone she deemed beneath her. What Victoria didn't know was her husband's firm defended the very drug pushers I'd collared for years. And she sure didn't know the bum she targeted packed a badge, gun, and power to complicate her life big time. The violation notice was on crisp HOA stationery, loaded with legalese that twisted my gut. But what boiled my blood wasn't just the wind barriers. Victoria had twisted the board into emergency aesthetic guidelines. I phoned the HOA office Monday, and Victoria's jittery assistant explained a weekend emergency vote banning visible weather mods during showcase periods. "What's a showcase period?" I asked. When buyers might tour. So, they favored sales over protecting homes. It reeked of Victoria's real estate roots. But my quality inspector days sharpened my eye for flaws. That week, strolling the grounds, I spotted issues. First, the community pool, Victoria's pride, crystal water, ornate stone. Up close, no safety gear in sight. Texas code mandates poles, buoys, first aid for pools serving over 20 families. We had 67 homes. No gear, no posted certs. I snapped time-stamped photos. Work habit. Pics don't fade like memory. Then the playground by the center, buzzing after school. No inspection tags. Texas requires yearly checks for such setups. I called County Health Tuesday. Hi, checking playground certs for Willow Creek. The clerk, no records past 3 years. 3 years. My Sophie played their weekends. That night, I emailed the board politely about the gear and inspections, suggesting we fix before chasing aesthetics. Victoria fired back in 2 hours, sharp as a knife. Mr. Harlan, your harassment is noted. These are admin matters, not for homeowners. Your fine stands. Further meddling means penalties. Harassment? I aim to prevent kid injuries. But twist. Victoria, aesthetics obsessed, likely ignored these. Documented right, I'd have leverage. That weekend, I inspected every common inch, photographing flaws. Missing pool stuff, unchecked playground, plus walkway lights. Pretty, but code dubious. No permits posted. By Sunday, 17 pics of hazards that could slam the HOA with liability. I wasn't stirring trouble. I wanted my fine dropped and fixes. But threads unravel sometimes. Monday's mail, certified letter from HOA lawyer. Thick, ominous. 2 pages. Pay $900 in 10 days or lien on property for storm shields. Buried. Barriers violated city codes, not just HOA. But mine were temp. No anchors, no permits needed. I called Austin Permits. Temp wind structs? If under 72 hours, no permit. Mine fit. Emergency weather okay. Lawyer wrong, strike 1. On phone, asked recent permits for Willow Creek. Just landscaping entrance. No electrical. Strike 2. Weekend, I'd lights, prograde, buried wire, permit required. Mike, retired firefighter neighbor, wandered over. Nice lights, pricey. Notice install oddities? He checked. This box ain't burial rated. Rust already, fire waiting. Spacing too tight to trees. Storm hits, wires touch branches. We documented. Wrong boxes, veg clearance, shoddy wire. Mike, wouldn't pass inspection. T. X's NEC strict on burial, ratings, clearance. Lights violated 4 codes. Kicker. HOA finances, requestable, showed lighting invoice from Langford Landscaping, Victoria's hubby Robert's firm. $43,000 for landscaping, including electrical. Checked licenses. Robert licensed for landscaping, not electrical. Unlicensed electric in Texas? Misdemeanor, huge liability if harm. Now, board funneled $43,000 to hubby's unlicensed firm, creating dangers. Wednesday email to board. Outline violations, suggested license check before hurts. Victoria Thursday. Mr. Harlan, undermining won't be tolerated. 48 hours to pay or lien. More harassment, penalties. Legitimate authority stuck. How legit? By Thursday, clear Victoria wouldn't yield. Rain sent recalled first storm. My barriers protected while her ego risked all. Friday twist. Son Alex rushed in. Dad, see this. Neighborhood Facebook. Victoria's post on standards, disruptive residents, prioritizing self over values. No name, but obvious. 37 comments. Most backed her, but some raised safety. Mrs. Henderson. Playground worn. Focus safety. John Ramirez. Daughter slipped poolside. Code compliant. Others noticed, but feared challenging Victoria. She'd bred fear of disruptive. Afternoon. Requested 18 months HOA records, minutes, legal right, small fee. Pattern screamed. $120,000 on beautification. Vendors. Langford got $87,000 for fountains, stone, signs, consults. Budget. $32,000 landscaping. Extra from emergency upgrades, bypassing approval. Bylaws. Over $15,000 needs notice, 30-day comments. They chunked. Fountain 3 invoices under threshold. Manipulation. Texas HOA law. Self-dealing illegal. Bombshell. Robert's license expired 8 months. Unlicensed work. Sunday. Showed Mike records. Serious. Self-deal. Unlicensed. Hazards. Lawsuit. Insurance voids. What now? AG or try board. Tried diplomacy. Monday email all board. irregularities, licenses, hazards, private solutions. Tuesday, Victoria. Baseless accusations equals defamation. To lawyer. Banned common areas pinning violations. Banned from paid-for amenities. Defamation needs falsity. All true. Done nice. Tuesday Eve. Bypass her. Called Texas Architectural Examiners. Report unlicensed electric by landscaper. Hazard? Burial boxes, veg clearance, fire risk. 67 families. File formal with docs, multi-agency possible. Weekend. Organized evidence, photos, finances, licenses, bylaws. Discovered cascade. Electric equals code enforcement. Unlicensed equals state board. Pool equals health. Playground equals child safety. Stormwater equals EPA. Self-deal equals AG. Fire equals marshal. Wednesday calls. Fire marshal. Electrical hazards. EPA. Stormwater mods. Health. Pool gear. AG. HOA self-deal. Each. File with docs. By Friday, 7 complaints. Cross-referenced. Unexpected. Speed. Monday. Health. Emergency pool inspect Thursday. Tuesday. Fire. Joint with code. Wednesday. EPA. Investigation. Interview contractors. Thursday. 6 probes underway. Afternoon. Victoria called. Scared. Frank, what did you do? Reported hazards board ignored. You don't get it. Could shut amenities, tank values. Should have listened privately. Hung up. Realized she'd cover tracks. Built. Documentation fortress. Triples backups. Timeline showing diplomacy first. Briefings per agency. Maps, codes, explanations. Tuesday. Health Inspector Sarah met poolside. Walked misses, poles, buoys, procedures. How long? 3 years, never installed. 200 users, kids daily. Serious liability. Wednesday. Fire Marshal Rodriguez, Electric Inspector, Code Officer. First fixture. Box not rated, moisture. Fire risk high with trees. 12 violations. Contractor. Landscaper, expired creds. Criminal if hurt. Thursday. Reports in, devastating for Victoria. Friday. Her counter. Email blast. Protecting from harassment. Painted victim, me retaliator. Violations, minor oversights. Threats of assessments. Phone rang. Mrs. Henderson. Sorry, worried taxes up. John. Home value, refinance. Victoria weaponized fear. Saturday. Neighbor Linda. Victoria asked about you. Boys, schedule, unstable since divorce. Drinking, neglect, aggressive. Clenched fists. Monday. School counselor. Call about boys' stability, from HOA. Saw red, kids crossed line. Afternoon, Mike. Wife heard Robert stressed. Investigators on contracts, worried business loss. Pieces, desperate for survival. Fire marshal. Patterns unlicensed multiple communities. AG criminal. Wednesday. Fake letter community protection services. Investigating threats. Researched. Bogus. P.O. Box. Called attorney Laura Jenkins. Crimes. Impersonation. False reports. Harassment. Document. No direct response. Let me handle. Right. Dangerous, desperate. Thursday. Voices outside. Victoria with strangers. Clipboard. Camera. Wellness assessment. Credentials. Community safety services. Behavior. Maintenance. Fake again. Hired for sham inspect. Recorded. Leave or police. Forwarded to Laura, AG detective. Criminal harassment. Fraud. Escalating. Friday. Reports final. Fire 12 hazards. Health pool closure. EPA fines. Code unlicensed. AG $300,000 fraud 6 HOAs. Saturday. Victoria call. Talk. Through attorney. Fix before worse. Drop fine. Fix safety. Robert licenses. Tried months ago. You threatened home. Harassed kids. Fakes. Not about fine. What then? Consequences. Safety leadership. Hung up. Confession recorded. Sunday. Email emergency meeting. False accusations. Her last stand. Monday. Packed center. Victoria PowerPoint. Overreach. Slides amenities. Minor. Blown up by vendetta. Sue harassment. Defamation. Stood address. Public comment. Detective. Hear Mr. Harlan now. Front with folder. Frivolous. Fire report. 12 hazards kill people. Health. Missing gear save kids. Financial, $300,000 to unlicensed hubby, bypassed approvals. Silent room. Tried private, disruptive. Documented, threats. Asked transparency, harassment. Investigated kids, fakes. Played recording. Eruption. Fire marshal. Systematic violations, criminal negligence. Health. Unconscionable kids risk. Detective. Charges fraud, harassment. Room exploded at Victoria. Risked kids for cash. Costs. She. Destroying over barrier. Me. Stop being barrier when profit over safety. Attacked family protecting yours. Afford not to fix. Vote. Removed 4-1. Mrs. Henderson interim. Drop fine. Authorized repairs. Tally. $43,000 electric. $12,000 pool. $8,000 playground. $15,000 environ. Insurance covered 80%. Hate unlicensed risks. Victoria, Robert charged fraud, unlicensed. Robert plea. Service, suspension, restitution. Victoria resigned, moved. Scheme $500,000 plus statewide. My complaint exposed major fraud. Community bonded. John safety chair. Quarterly transparency. Mike preparedness. Sophie learned standing up. She wrote college essay on it. Both kids top schools. I consult compliance now. Using inspector skills prevent disasters. Founded Harlan Safety Fund wife's memory. Grants equipment. Inspections. Helped 12 communities. Averted playground mishap. 6 months post. Block party celebrate fixes. New systems beautiful, compliant. Pool geared. Playground rebuilt. Next storm. Ready. Helped neighbors. Victoria's lights replaced LEDs. Boosted values balancing beauty, safety. What about you? Ever face an HOA favoring looks over lives? Bored ignoring concerns or retaliating? Share your stories below, especially on violence and injustice in daily life. Have you seen subtle abuses of power that escalate to real harm? Take a stand. What's your view on fighting back against bullies and authority? Express your thoughts. Let's discuss how we can push for fairness in our communities.